It's me, Unapologetically T, and I just wanted to come here and share my full moon ritual. People call it full moon ritual. For me, ritual literally means everybody does rituals if you do something repeatedly every day. Like, it's a ritual that you're going to work every day at the same time, or just your schedule, whatever it is. That's a ritual. So literally, I want to start with the definition, and then I'm going to read what I did. So a ritual is a repeated, structured sequence of actions or behaviors that alters the internal or external state of an individual, group, or environment. The more that I heal, I get away from being ritualistic. This whole goal of this journey for me was freedom, and I feel like there's a certain amount of entrapment that comes with rituals. And so I'm not saying that you shouldn't have them. I'm not saying that you should stop practicing your rituals. I think that rituals are great. Definitely great foundational pieces to jumpstart yourself and get yourself in a routine, because that's basically what a ritual is doing: getting you into a spiritual routine, getting you into a religious routine, getting you into a work routine, getting you into a routine for whatever it is that you're focusing on. But for my journey in particular, like, I have been searching for freedom, and literally, I think that a big piece of it for me is I practice rituals, but I do them so fucking loosely and so all over the place. So saying all of that, this full moon ritual that I did this go around, I did not do it. I think it's still poetic, but I did not light candles. I did not burn sage. I did not have moon water. I did not do all of the things that I have access to do, or that I have done in the past. Literally, I'm finding that your ritual can be you. The ritual is you. The ritual is how you show up for yourself, how you show up in these things. And so literally for me, now if I'm learning a new practice, if I'm learning different ways, I respect that practice, that culture, that way, until I find my own way. And I think that's the point in this journey. I've been finding my own way. And so for me, I'm long-winded, but for me, it's just been showing up like how it's supposed to show up. It's free, it's fluid, it changes, it evolves, it grows, it mutates. So literally, this go around for this full moon, I literally I felt like I was astro projecting, because I had like this moment where like I was just smacked back into my body, and when I looked at the phone, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and this came to me. So I'm going to read the intense thoughts and feelings that I was able to release this full moon. This is the strawberry full moon, and it is in Sagittarius. And so let's get it. And I will be putting it in word form on Instagram. Listen to the chickens. But yes. So there's a strawberry full moon in Sagittarius. It is that time again to release and manifest the world you would like to see. This is my release. How will you take advantage of the full moon energy? All right, so strawberry full moon. When I first started this journey, like from my earliest of memories, most things I believed in were demonized or deemed to make believe. Fast forward to now, those same people who dimmed my light, those same systems that stole my magic, are representations of people and things that didn't live up to their full potential. Always follow your heart and use a little bit of logic and a lot of discernment on your journey. Believe in and act on your wildest dreams. It is the only way they will ever come true. Believe in you and be Delulu. All right, next slide. Tonight I publicly released debilitating fear. I had become so afraid of myself and my power that I denounced it and gave lots of it away. I now trust myself that I am not overreacting to outrageous situations, that my response will be appropriate depending on the situation. I'm regulated now, and when I'm not, I call on God for assistance. I don't release fear altogether. I release fear, stopping me from moving forward towards the life I deserve and the people who are for my greatest development, and don't wish to deliberately disturb my peace. I pair courage and bravery with my fear tonight. You three become the three amigos. Life without fear can end in early termination, but life without courage and bravery can end simply by just existing. I'm ready to live outside of just survival mode. I'm ready to venture. I'm ready to see all that life has been wanting me. I'm ready to see all that life has been wanting to offer me. All right, next slide. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is in spite of the presence of fear. You stand tall and face what is happening anyway. In order to be brave, you must have a threat present, or it isn't bravery at all. It is merely you doing something you wanted to do in the first place. This journey of my life has been a true testament of courage and bravery. I have refused to give up even when I wanted to. I refused to stop trying even when I was scared out of my mind. I know most don't see that I fear stuff, but internally I was a scared little girl trying to survive a cruel world. I've been secretly afraid of everything all my life. Afraid of people not because they will harm me. I know off rip who means me harm, and I have a pain tolerance that can take most shit. But I was afraid of what I would do to others when things go too far. I was afraid to hurt other people's feelings and would sacrifice my own. I was afraid of getting hurt by decent people, so I chose the monsters I knew. I was afraid to be myself because it meant ridicule, being made fun of, shunned, and judged. I was afraid to tell on others because it meant they could get hurt, even though they had hurt me. I was afraid of loving myself and caring for me because I knew deep down there would be no space for those in my life I grew up loving. I grew up so afraid of so many things that people don't even conceptualize. I was never afraid of the monsters. I grew up in darkness. I was afraid of the light exposing me and my truth, something I always hid from. I couldn't bear what it looked like, what it felt like, what it meant to stand in it. But life caught up with me, and this is the aftermath of me embracing what I have been through on earth. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the absolutely majestic. Living in your truth is freedom. Loving yourself is freedom. Returning to self is a return to this earth and your God consciousness. Sitting with your fear is freedom. Being authentic and showing up as you every day is freedom, no matter how that looks. Because it's always room to grow and room to glow. There isn't anything to fear but fear itself. So look whatever you are running from straight in the eyes so it can see that you ain't fit to be fucked with. And then there's another slide. It's 2 more slides. I've been afraid of money. I was afraid I would turn out like the false powers that are crumbling. I was afraid of fame. It meant being seen and having to sell my soul to make it. I've been afraid of having the perfectly imperfect life, husband, family, friendships, experiences, because I didn't want to get hurt. So I would sabotage or keep my distance. I was afraid to ask for help or anything much because rejection felt detrimental to my fragile ego that was severely emotionally neglected since childhood. So I never knew how to regulate myself, let alone relationships with everyone else. Rejection would manifest as As a spiteful, I will show you, I will make it with or without you. I was a hot air balloon that grew up with anchors. It felt safe because would frequently go far into outer space. But too much of anything isn't good, so sometimes I would combust from mistreatment. I didn't need a team full of anchors. I needed to be shown balance, love, and support. I needed to be taught how to ground myself so I wouldn't be searching for anchors with hidden motives and envy because I soar so high. I don't regret none of the responses to growing up in a sick environment. I embrace them. I pay homage for them getting me thus far. But I don't need most of the things anymore that has gotten me to this point. I will always remember. They will always be there. But it's time to release the pain and fear that came with those memories and past experiences. And last but not least, whenever I do a great release, I call in the things I wish to fill its space. I like to think of it as a donation to the universe, like giving away those old clothes in the closet you no longer wear. Why throw them away? Somebody else can use them, even if you have outgrown them or are simply bored of them. One man's trash is another man's treasure. People take things and transmute them into something new, deconstruct them, or simply accept and love them as they are. But now my closet is practically bare, so it's time to go shopping. This wish list isn't small at all. It's because these donations have been big over the last 2 years. With the full moon energy, I call in all the things I ran away from that I always knew was meant for me. All the things that God and my ancestors intended to be my inheritance. I call in the ultimate discipline and obedience and guidance to maintain and care for and nurture all that I am receiving. I called in the luxury, the abundance, the true love that respect boundaries, reciprocal in nature, the husband that God and I chose for me, the one that gets me, but challenges me to be better, but challenges me to be better, a real nigga that don't let me walk on top of him, but that doesn't have to conquer me to get me to relax or get what he needs from me. Gotta be specific in this area. I've prayed for men and boy did I receive them. I called in all that was stolen, blindly given, tricked and bamboozled from me in this timeline and all others in this dimension and all others in this multiverse and the universe. I reclaim my throne in all customs, wisdom, knowledge, gifts, and birthrights. I walk in my power, rich in spirit, and I don't care who it may offend as long as I am in alignment with God. I'm not afraid anymore, and even when I am, I know God will give me the strength and courage to weather any storm. So be it. And it has already been done. And so that was my full moon ritual. I say ritual with quotation marks because it always looks different for me. I tend to naturally connect with full moon energy, just with the moon cycles, period. I do think that is a part of my feminine energy. Our bodies, like literally as feminine, biological feminine women, like female women, are aligned with the moon cycles. But also if you have just feminine energy, you're going to be typically aligned with the moon cycles. So even when I forget that there is a full moon, a new moon, or even like the waxing and wanings, something always like really speaks to me. Like something really like speaks to me. Like tonight I was just like jolted back into my body, and it was like, oh, it's the full moon tonight. Like I literally looked at the time and I looked at the date and I was like, oh, it's the full moon tonight. And it was just funny. And then I had already been working with this concept of releasing fear. I had did a sound bowl with a sound bowl bath with Indigo Wellness, I always shout them out. That's my family. Love them. I love everything they do over there. So and the theme of this was dream, and I still can taste the peach cacao. Like but the theme of this sound bath, and the theme of the journey was dreams. And it's so funny because literally on my way back home on the drive, like the sky just changed all these pretty colors, and before I even went to take the sound bath experience, I literally had posted on my IG story like something about dreams, and I literally had the like universe emoji, and it's kind of like, I consider the universe, but you can look at it as night sky, but it's like that purpley like starry thing. And I also consider like the sign for hurricane, that's the universe sign too. But you'll find that once you start learning about the world around you, that a lot of stuff is tied to each other. So anyway, I've gotten off topic, but oh my God, sir, it's a ladybug. Why would you fly on me though? Like, I guess. I'm gonna have to go look up ladybugs. I can't keep all these meanings in my in my mind, but like a red ladybug just flew on me. And I always wonder, like, do the male bugs get mad when we call them ladybugs? But we don't know whether they're male bugs or not, so I don't know. Let me start getting on topic, but that's the beauty in these videos with me. Like, it's just, it is what it is. So I had literally posted, and this is like a testament of just going with what you actually feel. So I had posted like this emoji with like the purple starry night, which I consider the universe for this particular post. And I had some clouds, and it was supposed to represent dreams, like dream clouds, because like that's one of my like escape places I will go in my head, or even when I'm dreaming physically, to have peace. And it's actually a pink and blue cloud. And I was gonna put the blue in there, and then I was just like, I ain't gonna even put the blue in there. Like, just something in my brain worrying about what other people fucking think and feel. And I was like, I ain't gonna even put the blue in there. I'm just gonna put all pink hearts. And so I was gonna do a pink and blue heart, but I didn't. And it's funny because like, this is the funny kicker part of it, is like literally on my way back down the road, I saw the clouds that I always dream about. And I'm laying on the clouds, and I'm laying on the clouds with a person I care about, and we sit there and we talk all the time on those clouds, and it's just like an escape for me. So that shit was dope. And then I just got to see the transition of these dreamy clouds turn from, blue and pink to pink, and to the sun peeping out of it. Then like, it's literally on the other side is like, you could just see storm clouds. Like, it's just dark ass storm clouds. And literally it was a tornado watch and all that stuff happening. And that's funny because one time when I was at Indigo Wellness, we actually had a tornado that came past the house. But we were protected. Go figure. So, literally, I'm just driving into the storm, but I'm just watching the beauty unfold. In the past, I have been like, not deathly afraid, but like very much afraid. Like, if I see lightning, I'm gonna close my eyes. I don't want to see it in person. Hearing thunder, it scares me. So literally this go around is like, I saw like the most beautiful bolts of lightning, just not even no flashes in the clouds, like literal bolts of lightning come down and like spread out. And it was just like the fucking coolest thing ever. I tried to capture the moment, but it was not meant for me to capture. It was meant for me to capture it with my eyes. And it was a beautiful experience just to see those transitions happen. It was a beautiful experience to think about me facing my fears, and that's what I have been working on ever since that day, is like facing my fears. A lot of time I avoid conflict because I'm afraid that I'm gonna hurt other people's feelings, but they have hurt mine. And just not being afraid anymore and knowing that like I have done so much great work in regulating my nervous system and regulating myself and my feelings and my emotions. And that the response you receive is the response you receive, and it was meant for you. It was meant for you at this point. I no longer desire to hold things in. Like, I want to address those things head on. Like, why not? Why wait? And I do also respect the boundaries of sometimes people do need space to wait. However, for me, I feel like you can have appropriate space to wait, and it's all balance to this, if that makes sense. I'm not going to dig deep into that. It is balance to this. I'm not gonna allow people space to wait to address some shit, so it's time passed so we can forget, like that dismissive shit. I'm not doing that, but I do respect space. One of the things is fearing of boundaries, setting boundaries, because someone's gonna literally disrespect them. The boundaries aren't for them, the boundaries are for you, and if someone disrespects the boundaries, then literally, you know, you gotta think about that. And so also another thing I have to work on, and this was another thing that came to me, I'm not perfect, and nor am I supposed to be. But I have to work on respecting other people boundaries. Like, literally my boundaries were disrespected and non-existent for a very long time, so I have to learn how to not overstep other people's boundaries when they have boundaries set, no matter how I feel about it. And so I'm learning. It's a work in progress. And so I do acknowledge that. But just learning these different things, what my fears are really saying to me. Some people would like to get rid of fear altogether. To me, I think fear is an ancient. People say anxiety is a spirit attachment to me. I don't care what anyone thinks. Fear, however, is basically this thing that is allowing you to know that there is possible danger, to be cautious. It is, I think primordial is the word. I don't know. If it's not that, then I definitely know it's like, it's ancient. It's something that we have anciently had. It's instinctual. It is instinctual to have fear. It is a protector. Fear pops up to let you know that there's a snake in the grass, that there's a lion stalking you. Like, if you think about you being out in the wild. So it is a survival mechanism. You are, just because you're no longer wanting to be in survival mode, do not mean that you need to get rid of everything that has protected you in survival mode. You need survival skills no matter what level you are playing on, what part of life you are in. So a lot of people would think like the absence of fear is winning. It is not the absence of fear that is winning. The absence of fear is going to either just have you existing in life, or is literally, no, not the absence of fear, but having fear to the point where like it stops you from living life is like just existing. Having no fear at all would be boring to me, because it's like, you know, there is nothing there stopping you from anything, and it literally can get you an early termination. So that's what I was talking about in that poem. Like, literally having no fear at all can literally get you killed. You think it's cute, but it's really not. You gotta listen to something inside there that says, don't fall off that cliff. So literally living on Earth, you need fear. This is an environment where you're gonna have to have fear. However, you need courage and bravery to be with fear, so that fear can have a check and balance. Fear literally should have a voice, but you must sit with fear and figure out, why does fear feel this way? Like, what is fear trying to stop you from? And that's what I've been processing for the last few days, is like just sitting with fear. Like, why were you afraid to have money all these years? Like, even though you was working your ass off towards it, like you had a deep fear about being rich, about being wealthy. And it was because I don't want to be like the powers that be. I see people get all this wealth and this power and they be turned out to be not shit. But not realizing, like, literally, sweetheart, like, have you ever thought about maybe these people weren't shit to begin with? Or maybe these people were unhealed people that received power and money and resources that might not were ready for it. And so it's like not comparing myself to others and knowing who I am. Literally just sitting with a lot of fears. Why am I fearing hurting someone else's feelings if they've already hurt mine? Like, let's make that make sense. So all that stuff is like, okay, you served a purpose back then. It is understandable as a child that you developed fear around telling because people could get hurt. It is understandable that as a child you developed a fear around telling people how you really thought or what you really felt, because that could mean you getting hurt more. That could mean you hurting them. It could mean a lot of different things for you. So like, it's just like now the safety and the level of work that I've done, like, it is aligned with being around people that are for my betterment, my better development and theirs. Like, I want reciprocal relationships. I want to learn from people who know more than me. I want to learn from people who are on my level also. Like, it's just, I want to be around those who are for my betterment, and vice versa. And I don't have to fear speaking out around people who are healthy. You shouldn't have to. Communication is a big one for me. I know yesterday, like a prime example of growing is I was playing with my daughter. I was finishing up the rest of her. Yes, it's been a lag. I've been finishing up the rest of her hair because she ended up, like, I was rushing to try to get it done because she was supposed to go somewhere. But when I realized she wasn't going nowhere, I slowed up on trying to get it done. But I finally did it. And I was playing. I was listening to music while I was doing her hair, and I had like clapped in her ear. And she, like, sensory wise, the girl is autistic like her mother. Sensory wise, she doesn't like noises and stuff near her ear. And so, like, when I did it, I knew I was being an irritant, but I was playing. I didn't know that she didn't feel like playing. And so she got like extremely pissed off and she stormed out of the room while I was doing her hair. And so instinctually, that black motherhood wanted to, like, make her the villain. And it was like, you know, even though I was wrong and I was being playful, because we play with each other a lot, so like I was being wrong and playful, but I didn't know at the moment that, you know, she really didn't want to play like that. Like, usually she'll get irritated and she'll say something smart, or she'll do something back to me that's irritating to me. But this particular time, she did not feel like being bothered. And so I normally probably would have went after her and, like, heckled her for, like, her attitude and who the fuck you think you is, just storming off. But, like, ego be chilling right now. Like, ego feels happy and peaceful and calm. Like, it's just crazy. So ego just was even like, girl, like, you ain't fully wrong. Like, you was playing too much. Like, basically, like, you ain't fully wrong. You was playing too much. But, like, she ain't fully wrong either. Like, she felt, you know, like you didn't respect her space and all that shit. And so, because I did it twice, that matters too. The first time I did it, she, like, kind of moved her head. And then the second time I did it, she got upset. So that matters in the story. And so it was like, you know, she came back in the room after she calmed down, and I didn't pursue her. I just let her have a little moment. And she came back in the room after she calmed down, and she was like, you know, I just don't understand, like, why you did it the second time. When I moved my head, I was showing you that I didn't want to. And I was like, you were showing me, but you ain't say nothing. Like, I was like, you play with me all the time, and I literally tell you to stop playing with me, and you'll think it's funny and keep playing. And so I was like, you know what? The part I want to address is the way that you handle things. It's like the way that you handle things. I feel like, you know, for me, I'm growing up. I'm not the same mother that raised you when, you know, you were little. Like, I was little my goddamn self, mentality wise. Like, I'm not her. I'm not the same person. So it's like our reactions and the way I raised you is a lot different. I felt like it was real. I felt like it was an overreaction. Even though like your feelings is valid, I felt like your behavior was an overreaction to what I did. I was like, you could have literally told me verbally, Mom, I don't feel like being bothered. I don't feel like being played with right now. Like, and I would have understood that right away. So like communication would have just deaded that right away. Like I would have respected your boundaries, your space, whatever. And I was like, cause like now you stormed off, and it was like you had this physical reaction to what happened. Is like it still didn't let me know anything besides that you was gonna storm off and be mad, and like we didn't get anything resolved. So just trying to talk to her. I don't know if that makes sense, but just trying to talk to her the way I would have wanted to be talked to if I was her age, and just as I want to be talked to now as an adult. Like if that was someone else and it was me, I would have wanted them to explain that situation to me that same way. Like, you don't have to explode and show the physical part of how you feel. You can literally snip shit in the bud by the first time. You could have just verbally said, Mom, I don't feel like being bothered or played with right now. And the person would have. Now, if the person don't respect it after that, yeah, have at it. Do what the fuck you gotta do. But like literally, communication is definitely key in healthy relationships. And so like we're just learning that with each other. Like I said, I'm having to learn boundaries and learn you got to communicate boundaries. You can't just have them. You got to communicate them. And teaching her how to use her words, I think she saw a lot of responses and not a lot of verbal communication all the time outside of fussing. So literally trying to rewrite those narratives. She grew up in a house where she could be very vocal, but I would say the maturity of how we verbalize things wasn't always there. It was there to a degree that I could have it at, but I'm definitely growing and it's a lot better than what it was. Just learning that I control the narrative of how I'm going to be treated. That doesn't mean that I won't be mistreated, but it just means that I can control the narrative that once I am mistreated, if a person does not respect that, that they have mistreated me or wronged me, you're cut. You're cut. It's a done deal. We ain't got to keep doing all this repetitive trying to get you to get it right. You won't get it right with me, and that's okay. You got somebody else you can try to get it right with, but it won't be with me. So all these like chances for people to just, you know, do shit, nah. We good on that. We've learned from that. That's not happening. However, you know, mistakes will be made. It just depends on how you handle when the mistakes are made, about whether I'm gonna deal with you or not. And that's just how that's gonna go. So I've been releasing even before the full moon. I find that to happen. Even before the full moon gets here, like there's a release. And I think that's that waning and waxing, the whole cycles, right? The whole cycles of it. So I always look at the full moon as just that. It's full. It's full, and then you're speaking to what you want to release. That new moon energy, I feel like the new moon is fresh. It's fresh. It's the new start, and you're calling in what you want. However, I do releases and calling in during both. But I also just allow that experience to speak to me. So a lot of times people are demonizing working with the earth and working with this universe when God created this earth and this universe just for us, to be here, to nurture it, to cultivate it, and we are to utilize it. So anybody demonizing full moon rituals and just rituals in general, but they practice their own rituals in church. Anybody demonizing altars, literally the pulpits are the altars and all that stuff that the the priests and the preachers preach from. Literally, I think in Catholic church they have like hidden gems all over that goddamn church that represents certain like relics and stuff. That's what they call them, relics. It's literally the same thing, but we're just passing judgment on each other. So we ought to stop demonizing what someone else does. Definitely, if we lack the information and education on it, we gotta learn to just stop, just close our lips. I would say STFU. Just stop, think. What's the rest? I forgot the rest. It's stop, think, and I forgot the rest, but it's something with thinking about shit. I'm gonna just go with this original meaning. Shut the fuck up, because I can't think of the better version of it. I just can't think of the better version. Just shut the fuck up and think. That's what we're gonna go with. like STFUT. Shut the fuck up and think. I'm gonna merge the two. But yeah, so like that's my whole little ritual. My ritual is writing. So if I have a ritual in life, it would be writing, or speaking. And so, but I do various things. Like it depends on what calls to me during what time and all that stuff. So I just go with the flow. I go with the flow of things. I think that's who I am. Very free spirit, very flowy, very fiery, very windy. Be in the wind one day. Very, very, very electrifying. Like that was intense last night. Doing this purge, or rather, I would say 3:00 this morning doing this purge. Also with the dream, sound bath. Like Thoth came to me, and one of my my psychic reading was that a grandfather spirit or father spirit was trying to reach me. So I thought that was really hilarious, that and just spot on. And Karen, if you're watching this video, I think that Alex said I got your reading, your psychic reading. So it was like literally aligned. It was aligned. And so that was really cool. I was like, wow, that's dope. And not to mention that, like, I have been rewriting the narrative around snakes and all that stuff. Like, snakes have been demonized in our culture. Like, snakes aren't the problem. People who go into snake territory is the problem. And yes, you got good and you got bad snakes, but them good snakes, they don't be trying to fuck with you. Like, snakes, if you think about like the don't tread on me shit, I know that has a negative connotation, but like I think that's another situation we lack the information on. We don't know who's who. So like, but don't tread on me has that saying like meaning, like if you don't fuck with me, I won't bite you. Like I won't bite you if you don't bother me. And that's the nature, that's the truest nature of a snake. If you're not fucking with my territory or fucking in my space, like fucking around in my space, I won't bite you. If you are in my space, shit might happen. And so literally just rewriting the narrative around that. Definitely in ancient cultures, definitely with Lucifer, the snake represented enlightenment. The snake represents knowledge and wisdom. The snake is light energy. The snake is light energy. And so like I said, just rewriting that narrative. Get on. All these bugs around me today. Y'all love me. I love y'all too, but from a distance. The ladybug, you fine, because you can't hurt me. You fine. And I think that was like a sign of some good luck or something, good fortune. Bring it on in. Literally, I can't wait to end this video to go look it up. But yeah, like, yeah, just rewriting that narrative. And then I also seen some shit that I wanted to paint when I was having the dream vision. And it's been a culmination. So like it's been building. And so like if you've been on my Instagram, like I was talking about biting the apple. Like I think I did a poem on it, it's untitled, but it was referencing about biting the apple. I had a vision that I wanted to do a snake biting the apple this time. And so literally, even if it's not biting it, but it's just holding it in his mouth, maybe like to bring wisdom and knowledge to humanity, because at this point humanity needs it. Humanity is very fucking delayed. I don't want to use the R word, but y'all are really, and I say y'all within the combination of all of us. It's all of us. As a whole, we are delayed. Very delayed. But anyway, I've digressed from all the beautifulness of releasing and calling in and calling in and calling in. And just thankful to God, the creator of this universe, these multiverses, all of this, like, grateful. This has been a journey, and I think I'm gonna end this video and go do a reflection on my journey. And so bye. I hope you enjoy this if you're into this stuff.